So last week the the party after the situation at Lawrence's village, they helped orchestrate a bit of a relief effort by calling in some of their unused favors with Baldur's Gate and Waterdeep. Hang on, let me see. With Baldur's Gate and Waterdeep, they called in some of their unused favors to get some extra clerics down as to do healing work and remove some of the curses of the were-ravens that were going around. After that, the group headed off, and upon the next rest, they found that some royal assassins had been sent after Darius in particular due to his high bounty. And in an effort to escape, he's made his way off toward the coast. The party has yet to track him down. They then run into some folks along a crossroads inspecting their bounty posters. There was a bit of a showdown, but after talking it through, fellow explained that he was a traveling artificer and magic item salesman who's kind of been involved in the black market. He goes by the name Asher, and along with his kind of odd bodyguard, he has been traveling alongside the party. They spent a couple of weeks heading up toward the mountain, Star Mounts, where they found that the monastery that Aaron had been invited to was burned, and there Aaron had a pretty dramatic face-off with what seemed to be some sort of phantom or doppelganger type creature, and he learned that he is somehow or another responsible for a massacre in his homeland that caused him to be exiled. That's the gist of it, pretty much.
Oh, that's actually pretty dramatic.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason I didn't go. I am the shadow of the true self. Really?
At least you didn't walk into a waterfall and then, the doppelganger jumped out. For you Kingdom Hearts fans out there.
I remember Curb Stomping Toad's character.
Yep.
So was I there and just had a fugue state?
Something like that. Upon his arrival at the Burning Monastery, he sort of unconsciously went into a rage and moved on his own. And he found out afterward that it seems like the current story, I don't recall exactly how much he shared with the party, but the implication seems to be that his memories were somehow erased or suppressed.
To my knowledge, he shared nothing about that with his party, other than he needs to go to this mountain.
I mean, whenever he was walking away from it, he mentioned that he's learned that he was responsible for some sort of massacre. He's not sure why he did it, but the implication there was that somehow or another those memories had been lost.
He does, however, recall Curb Stomping Toki's new character.
There better not be an Itachi backstory.
Wait, so there's a new character and Toki has a new character? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he felt that Darius was a little too aggressive, so he put him on the sideline for now until further ado.
No, and I quote, he's too evil for this party.
I would agree. He's pretty crazy.
I'll try to find the exact message he sent me. Hang on. It was pretty good. Where's that? It was after one of the sessions. Let's see. I got a message from Toki after one of our sessions, and and he said, I feel Darius is too dickish to remain in the group. I'd like to give him a break. That was the exact thing he sent me. So, but yeah, I think that's basically the gist of what happened last session, and we cut it as the party was traveling away from the monastery. So, the current party token location is pretty accurate. So I guess we'll start after you all have had a bit of time to, at least a couple of hours, to get away from the Star Mount and, or well, at least the peak of it, and have settled back on the roads down below.
All right.
And so you find yourself at the base of the mountain, back the way you came. The smoke is still rising in the distance from the peak of the mountain, and the party is reunited as you find yourself not far from where you presume the landmarks that you were told about are.
Well, let's go find our druid friend. He's supposed to be there, right? In that area.
Yeah, it's likely
Cheyenne.
that he would be in that area. It's almost directly north from where you're at, sort of on the other side of the mountain. You could go around if you follow the west end there. Are you intending to go there immediately?
To the tree? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything else in this area.
All right. Yeah. The only other thing is
It would be
the
the
meeting with
closest point of
Talos.
civilization to rest.
Is everyone good on health and stuff, or do you need to rest?
I mean, technically, I think we're all full except for maybe Aaron, because I don't know how shadow damage works.
I don't think he really took any damage.
Then away we go.
All right, so it'll take you a bit of time to get up there, as you'll have to traverse the forest. But if you begin to go that way, then it takes a bit of tracking. Eventually, you're able to more or less narrow things down, and begin to find your way. But the closer you get, the more signs of life and signs of passage that you find. And at one point, particularly, you stumble upon what seems to be a relatively large campsite that was only recently abandoned, maybe a matter of hours ago.
Should we try to be stealthy and through here?
Yeah, don't want to run into any soldiers accidentally.
You new fellow, what's your name?
Well, Handy isn't here right now for his character.
No,
and
Togi's new character.
yeah, interesting situation there is so as one of the interesting items that Asher has brought along with him is a sort of box of holding, something like that. And Toki's character seems to have folded themselves up in that.
What?
Think of Nezuko.
I don't know your references.
Demon Slayer.
So it's kind of disturbing when you look at it, but the bodyguard is just able to contort in ways that bones shouldn't be able to do, and with the help of a bit of interdimensional magic, has sort of shrunken themselves to a point that they have remained within that. It's a pretty bulky box. Think he's essentially carrying a something similar to the size of a mini fridge on his back, just far lighter because of magic being used to hold the contents. And his bodyguard, upon I guess someone would have known this, whenever the fight broke out at first, before hostility ceased, when it came time for the bodyguard to be knocked unconscious, instead they seemed to go wide-eyed and enter a sort of stasis, and it seems like they're at least partially animatronic.
What's the bodyguard's name, though?
I think Toki, your character, introduced themselves right to the party. If I recall correctly, he did, and its character is known as Dr. Darlene Olivia Stein.
Darlene?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Darlene?
Or you
Indeed.
could just go by the medical pronunciation of Dr. Stein. If I'm understanding that joke.
Man, you gotta fix your mic.
My mic is. I've
Jesus Christ.
kind of crushed it.
Kind of
it's
crushed
horrible.
it.
Stop it.
But yes, Darlene is the character's name.
What the fuck?
Anyway, any of you two chaps good at stealth or magic that can help us all be stealthy? I don't really know your abilities.
Asher doesn't mention much in the way of stealth.
What about you, Doctor?
I can kind of disappear.
You can be invisible?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm guessing you can't hear us.
Are you muted?
Yeah, his mic's busted. He's gonna have to get a new one. Sounds like he said he crushed it. So over here.
Unless you change the output.
Okay.
Anyway, the answer is yes. His character is relatively stealthy.
All right, well, I would ask the Dr. Stein to check what's going on up ahead. For all of our sakes.
I don't know if this was going to work either.
Oh, we can hear you again.
Yeah, we
Peanut
can hear
butter
you
jelly
fine.
time?
Yep.
Can you hear us?
I can. I've been able to hear you the whole time.
We heard you before.
Yeah, but y'all keep saying something about air rapage.
Yeah, it seems to be fine now.
Yeah, because it's a whole new mic. It's the
Well,
mic to my actual phone.
It should work better than the question was whether your character was any good at stealth. Someone was asking.
Oh, yeah, I'm very good at stealth.
Do you want to scout ahead and tell us what's going on at the campsite? Make sure there's no surprise waiting for us.
She springs out of the car. Is it a wooden box? I almost
Yeah,
said cardboard box.
yeah, definitely not cardboard.
She's
It's
like a homeless. She's just a
it's like an
homeless person.
Amazon box. But no, it's a wooden box that he's carved with his own tools. Asher.
Uh-huh. Do. Blue Skidoo, weekend too.
Damn.
All right. So you do some excellent stealthing, and you're pretty sure that nothing even remotely humanoid is going to be able to spot you. You heading toward this abandoned campsite?
Yes.
Okay, what's your passive perception?
25.
Holy
Okay, well,
shit.
you can definitely spot then as you get close to the camp, you see scattered bits of armor, pauldrons, helmets, and the like. Looks like there are signs of fighting, and the majority of the gear that's been left behind is kind of metallic purple color.
Ooh. Is there anybody around after this fight? Bodies or anything?
You see a couple of what seem to be corpses, but as you skulk around the camp, you don't really see any survivors or hear anyone, for at least for now. There are a few tents that are still set up.
I'd check all the tents before I call them over.
All right, so for the first couple of tents, you don't notice anything, but eventually you peer into one of the tents and see what seems to be another corpse. But then they shudder, and you can see a bit of movement come from the corpse, or what you assumed was a corpse.
Yeah. And I use my chainy chain.
You trying to kill him or pull him toward you?
Pull him towards me.
Okay. Are you trying to attack with this, or are you just trying to use it as like a grapple?
Like a grapple.
Okay, so I'm not even gonna bother to make him roll for this. He's not gonna beat you in his injured state. So you kind of wrap the chain around his leg and pull him toward you. And as you pull him to the base of the tent, he lets out some kind of groan of protest, but he can't muster much strength in his voice. And as you flip him over, you notice that he's also wearing not quite plate. It's been stripped down, but he's wearing some sort of purple chain. And he looks like he's been stabbed pretty badly, and the side where some of the chain has been lifted up.
Ooh. I found a guy. He doesn't look that good of shapes.
Lawrence, I believe this is your expertise.
Yeah, I run over, assess the situation.
All right, go ahead and roll medicine. All right, from what you can tell, it seemed like whatever hit him was pretty clean, thankfully. But it seems like someone somehow or another was able to lift his chain up and get at least 4 to 6 inches of blade up and sort of angling up from his lower back and lower side. It didn't seem to hit anything that would immediately kill him, but he definitely doesn't have very long before he bleeds out.
I'll cast Cure Wounds at first level.
Okay. a good bit of the bleeding stops, and you're able to kind of bind up some of the rest to help, and he seems to be stabilized for now. He is still barely conscious.
Sir, what happened here? First of all, I'm Soren. What's your name?
He coughs a few times, but then is able to weakly mutter, Davin. My name is Davin.
Davin, my lad, what happened to you? What happened to this campsite?
There were traitors, but they call us the traitors. The captain was attacked, and he took those loyal to him elsewhere. But I was part of the rear guard, and I was wounded in the retreat.
To which army do you serve?
He fumbles around. He's wearing, it's pretty tattered now, but he's wearing a cloak. And he reaches into that, and he pulls the brooch that's holding it out, and the cloak kind of tumbles free. And he presents it forward, and it's pretty plainly the symbol of the Royal Inquisition.
Oh, so is he wearing the cloak, like those magic cloaks that we've seen before?
This one doesn't seem to be that sort of deal. This seems like more of a ceremonial cloak. This looks like something that, for example, a guard might wear outside of a palace or in a parade. It looks like he was someone assigned to guard, and he just wore it over his armor. It's not like the assassin's cloaks.
So what you're telling me is we found an enemy scout.
Yep. Oh no, rear guard.
Drugar.
Hello?
Hello?
What's up?
Able to get out of
sorry.
training videos?
Oh, I kind of just said fuck it and kind of snuck out. And currently, yeah, it's a 4-man station, so I'm pretty noticeable. But like fucking, now I'm playing D&D in the back of a fucking fire truck, waiting to. Cause what happened was like my plans on playing D&D at 9 o'clock at night hinged on the fact that the freaking stall door at the station worked. It doesn't, so we have to go back to the main station to sleep.
Nice.
So now I'm playing D&D in the back of my fucking fire truck, and
I'm gonna be honest. That sounds freaking awesome.
It's not as awesome as it sounds. To everybody else, it's just me, a weirdo, fucking taking my laptop out to the fire truck alone at night. And that's
They just think you're jerking off.
Yeah, I was gonna say
yeah,
that's what they think.
Exactly it.
So he's gonna walk in and try to scare you.
Or what he's actually doing.
I was gonna say
gonna
somebody's
say,
gonna walk in and
which
throw the
one do you
door
tell
open
them
to try
which
to scare you, and
I
they're
mean,
just gonna hear you say, "Okay, so I'm gonna deploy my force ballista turret."
Ballista turret, and just like, oh shit, Johnson's a terrorist.
Yeah, I'm just saying, which one are you telling them you were doing? Are you going to tell them you were playing D&D, or are you going to
Which
tell them
one's
you're
easier
jerking
to
off?
explain?
Oh, they already
Why
know.
would you?
Jerking off is way less embarrassing.
They already know I play D&D, so I mean that's out of the bag.
How did that one get out? Huh? Did you?
Oh, it just happens. Fucking, I can't really recall. It's just like I'm trying to be more open with my fucking hobbies, but at the same time, it's just like it's so hard to fucking explain to other people. Like,
Yeah.
I like
Hey,
to
as
play
long as you're
Magic
not like
occasionally.
my other friend who was just like they're into going to these bondage expos where they get tied up and shit.
Yeah, okay,
That's
that's
unique.
a little weird. I just like to fucking sit around, talk to people, and roll fucking digital dice.
Yeah,
That's
not even
Yeah.
real dice.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
No, the dice I have,
Yo,
I've never had.
I
y'all
mean, this-
speak for yourself.
Don't have
I
it.
have dice.
So wait. I can just imagine explain that to someone. So wait, you're not even rolling real dice?
No, random number generators, man.
I can turn on the option that lets me click and drag them out like a virtual table, but
Yeah,
that's
that
okay. I
was-
mean,
that's stupid.
it's not. This
It's
one
a
is
waste
this.
of time.
Yeah, this one is more. I don't do that either. I just use the chat commands. This is more difficult to explain, but because you can't just say, "Oh, it's a video game," but it sort of reminds me of how in high school, sophomore year especially, that was when I was really. I think that was when I was most into playing World of Warcraft, and that was where I would stay up till like 7 in the morning and then just leave directly for school.
Yeah.
And I remember having similar experiences where people would be like, I mean, come on, man. I can tell your eyes are all bloodshot and stuff. I know you're hot, man. You can tell me it's fine. And I was just trying to toe the line between being like, yeah. I mean, now if you want to know the truth, actually, I was leveling my warlock.
Actually, I was
for
rating.
16
Actually, I
hours.
was rating last night. So
Yeah, I stayed up for 16 hours playing World of Warcraft, buddy. But you could think what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Thank God I
open
didn't play
with.
this in high school.
I'm pretty open with my family about my
That'd be-
fucking
oh, go ahead.
nerd games to them, but like coworkers, nah, I'm good.
I think
That'd
most
be
people just
awkward.
think I'm talking about video games. So whenever I talk about this, I just leave it at that.
It's it's
a
online.
good percentage of my people at work have played or are playing some form of D&D. So
Oh, your
Amazon
coworkers
is
sound
the
awesome.
Amazon is the D&D headquarters. At least even the people that are like really like were like cool people in school play D&D at some point in their
It has
lifetime. So they're
become
not
much more acceptable in public since the 80s.
Oh, and
Yeah.
honestly, I think I think everyone's kind of cooler with it in the fucking military. Like there's a few people in my station who probably play D&D. I think they're all deployed right now.
See,
But
Kenji,
it's whatever.
A bunch of
Kenji,
people.
you got it easier in high school because I can imagine playing D&D in high school. Like that whole, are you high? No, sir. I was helping Bahamut take down Tiamat.
Yeah,
What did
like
you
I
just
don't.
say to me?
I don't. It was
Are you
an
sure
interesting
you're not taking
thing,
drugs there, boy?
and you gotta understand too. This wasn't just like it would have been bad enough already if I were just raiding, but I played on an RP server when I played WoW, and so it was really difficult to
no.
explain. It was really difficult to explain. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna
That's
say that I
really-
played WoW because I don't want to try to get into intricacies of like, yeah, sorry, my friend was DMing an event and you see my my ex Arathi Strom Guardian
Oh my
soldier
God.
warrior was helping his druid friend to heal a spiritual infliction that was I'm not gonna go into that.
It just keeps going downhill the more you talk.
Because I essentially played D&D in WoW using virtual dice, so I had the worst
Yeah.
of both worlds to explain to people. I just left it at, yeah, I was playing video games.
Yeah, let's keep it simple.
It
Like
was-
hell, my parents, as cool as they are about me playing D&D, like they don't really care too much. Like occasional little shit, but whatever. We all talk shit to each other, but like when they hear the term role playing game, they still think it's a sexual thing.
Yeah, that's my too, because I had an incident. I don't think I've ever told this story, and I know it's mid-session, but I have to tell it because it's relevant now.
I'm
I
sorry.
had,
I'm gonna
interrupting so
pause
much.
my
That's
recording
fine.
now.
Yeah, that's fine.
My
Anyway.
VPN
And
is
now I'm
strong.
unpaused.
Yeah, exactly. Now we can we can return and yes, good call, Goss.
Off the record.
It's a lot easier to
Guys, just
do
pay,
this.
pay the fucking money for a good VPN. That's all I'm
Okay,
saying.
yes, it's a lot easier to do things when you are coming from
This
Sweden.
role-playing session is brought to you by NordVPN.
Don't talk
Hey,
about
wait,
that. I would love
sorry,
their sponsorship.
sorry guys. Before we get into the session, you've all heard of Raid Shadow Legends? Let me just tell you.
Most innovative RPG
Them
ever.
and Vikings are putting so many YouTubers.
I would like to know what percentage of their budget went toward that.
Most
Probably
of it.
not even 10%.
Anyway,
Anyway.
now that everyone's here,
Yes.
Asher.
Young Artificer, nice to see you again. I am
This episode of Kingmaker's brought to you by Pepsi.
Yeah.
Couldn't get Coke.
Well, actually, I don't think he's named it yet, but Dr. Handy does have a soda that he's created in World with his character Asher. But yes, Asher,
And
you
the
now
turtle drank the soda.
Asher, you now get to meet Soren. So
Why, hello. What does Asher look like? Because I didn't see a character.
I think he might have dropped for a moment, but in the meantime, I'll drag his token out so you can get a good look at him. There you go.
Cool.
So that's the gist of what Asher looks like. Pretty young looking guy. I'll let him explain it better himself whenever he
What is
he's situated.
Doctor?
It looks like Aaron if Aaron was a wizard.
Yeah, hang on. Mostly human. I mean, there's not really exposed mental part. It's just that she acts pretty odd from time to time. There you go. Almost. She looks like a ninja, pretty much.
Oh, cool.
Except she has a dark secret.
Yeah, the dark secret is
So a
that.
ninja.
Yeah, exactly. Hang on, let me.
Well, I thought the secret was that she was made of metal.
Well, maybe. I mean, aren't all ninjas?
No.
I think he was found.
Yeah, I think he
Got caught.
Got caught playing D&D.
So embarrassing.
Okay, yeah, he said figuring things out with his mic, which is code for he's getting smoked right now.
Dude, what the hell is Roll20?
Yeah. What is Roll20? You need to get down and give me 20.
Why is there this anime girl and these ogres on your screen?
Yeah.
What is the High Forest? Is that some?
What's Star Mountain?
Who are these people? Who is the legendary Jushin Thunder Liger? What the hell is that?
Motherfucker, stop changing your name.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Look here, man. Look here, man. It's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and he just retired.
I just want to, the best part is that Dr. Andy sent me a Google Doc with a lot of his character info, and so I like to think he has it open on his on the side, and they're just like, "Oh, look, what is this biography you have written there?" All right, did you get discovered in your fire truck or?
No. I my headphones were dying. I had to go get a USB charger.
Well, now that you're back, yes, Asher is now able to meet Soren. So I was waiting for you to get back so that you could describe your character as Soren is gonna greet him.
All right, Asher. He's really short, very young, like 20 years old or some shit. He's like 5'5". Has I don't know, basically the freaking character picture, but I'd say a bit more deranged. Not really, but like less calm and collected, more wacky weirdo.
Disheveled.
Yeah, has a big box on his back and
I was gonna
goggles.
when you said deranged, I automatically thought, oh, he's Tech 9.
No, I don't know.
Mad scientist.
Yeah, mad scientist. Like, do you know the character that builds fucking gadgets on My Hero Academia?
Yeah, I know what you're talking
He's
about.
like
That's
a bit
good.
of that, a bit of Senku, and
All right,
other weird
I'll
shit.
boil this down to English for us non-weebs here. He's kind of a mixture
Fuck
between
you.
your. Listen. I am a weeb. I'm just trying to be the middleman.
I'm the only non-weeb.
Yeah.
I know the franchise names and stuff, but like I don't know that much.
You and I just our common language is Warcraft, so we just. But to translate here, sort of a combination between the classic I guess the classic Dr. Frankenstein character,
Cool.
and someone that almost is more interested in not necessarily some greater purpose, but just the creation and application of their gadgets. They're like the inventor that thinks, they're the inventor that thinks their their objects and their gadgets are just cool enough. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I guess Dr. Frankenstein and Inspector Gadget. There you go. That's
Gotcha.
how it.
Oh yeah, a little bit of Inspector Gadget, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially
Yep.
for what I'm planning on doing, but it's whatever.
Why is there a Power Ranger in here?
You just triggered Aaron so bad.
Sir, that is the legendary Jushin Thunder Light.
That's Jet Jaguar.
Sir, I have
What
seen
What did you
Jet
just say,
Jaguar.
Kenji?
That is not Jet Jaguar.
Anyway, we'll discuss this.
Is
later.
that Armored Tiger's
Armor King?
Armor
Armored King's is that Armored
It's the
King's
costume for
alternate
season 4.
costume?
But
You
yes,
guys can kiss my monkey ass.
so now that you've gotten that
Because-
description of Asher,
You made that joke, but there was a Tekken New Japan crossover where all
Yeah,
the
there
Tekken
was.
characters had New
there
Japan
was a Tekken Bullet Club
wrestling
shirt too,
outfits.
and I've been trying to get
Yep.
my hands on one, and I can't.
Yep, I think King had it. Armor King had it.
Yeah. But now that Asher is
new
has
Tekken really
been
that good?
described, Is the new Tekken that good?
Yeah.
I'll put it this way. I heard someone describe it. I've gotten into it recently. I love it. I main Armor King and
Yeah.
Geese. Those are my two main characters. I know people hate me for using Geese because he's a meter character, but the gameplay
I
is,
don't know what a meter
fantastic.
is.
The gameplay is really good in Tekken 7. Some of the other stuff suffers in comparison, but they
There's a
nailed the
Tekken
gameplay.
7 out?
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
currently the
that's
most
what I mean.
popular fighting game, pretty much.
Yeah,
So-
I was like getting really into MK, but
Mhm.
I just like fell off of fighting games for like the last year.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Every once in a while, I'll play Third Strike. I play Makoto on Third Strike.
Right,
But
we're getting really off topic.
yeah.
Yeah, we
I'm
kinda
sorry.
have.
I have one more thing to say.
You are
But-
not going to just switch back the topic when you tell me there's a Tekken 7 and I don't know about it.
Hold on.
The
I wanna
Tekken
say
7 has
one
been
thing.
out for years.
Yeah,
I
it's
wanna
been
say
out for a
one
couple of
thing.
years. They have freaking Noctis from FF15 as a guest character.
Yeah, they
and,
do.
The guy
Oh,
from
that
Walking
Tekken.
Dead.
Never mind, I know about it. I
Look,
thought we were talking like a brand new Tekken. Fuck all Tekken but Tekken 4. So
Nope.
Y'all know the shooting star press, the backflip off the top rope?
Yeah,
That
he
motherfucker
has it.
invented it. That's Jushin Thunder Liger. That dude invented that move. Surprising he didn't die, but you
Well, thank you for the wrestling trivia.
know, look, this is wrestling royalty right here. Shut your mouths.
Anyway,
So,
short answer. Yes, Tekken 7 is a good game. Try it. But back on
who
topic.
needs to get their ass spanked is what I hear. What I'm hearing.
Now that Asher has described himself, you know what he looks like. Soren and Asher, you can continue your conversation now. In character.
I was talking to that guy Davin.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
So Asher, to get you caught up or handy, your bodyguard here scouted ahead and found a bunch of purple armor and corpses wearing this armor strewn about this abandoned campsite. And in one of the tents, found an injured man. He's been stabilized by Lawrence, and he's just revealed that he's a member of the Inquisition. And apparently, there was some infighting and some traitorous accusations thrown around. And
All right.
and so-
I assume while I was away, I was just working on my magical music box.
yeah, likely. The last thing you're kind of snapping back to reality now. What you see is right where we left off, which Davin has just presented his brooch that held his cloak up as proof that he's with the Inquisition, and that's where we wear our sword.
I mean, I know where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
All right, so
Oh, some shit happened here.
yeah, some shit went down. Davin, do you know which way they went off with the remaining forces?
Do I?
No, I'm talking to Davin, the dead
Oh,
guy.
Davin. I'm sorry. That's another character in my game.
Oh, he kind of gives you a skeptical look and says, "So you can hunt the captain?"
Well, we want to. We were sent by the Inquisition to help.
Okay, can you roll me a deception?
Bold-faced lie. Let's
Bold
see
move,
how-
Cotton. Let's see how it turns out.
Yeah, let's see. How
He can't beat this, but
I didn't lie to him. I lied to the universe.
um,
Lie to God
No
himself.
way in
He-
hell that guy could.
he kind of
receive
shrinks
that.
back and says, "Doubly so, then you'll have to kill me. I'm sure you consider us traitors like the rest."
Wait, what? No, I'm. Why would? I'm confused. What?
There are two factions of the Inquisition, and I guess we just aligned with the faction that was trying to kill these guys right here.
Confess to us your sins.
I mean, I do have a instant. We can. It's kind of like interrogate him like he was in trouble.
Wait a minute. Are you with?
Oh God,
Are you
interrogation.
trying to protect the tree, or are you trying to destroy it?
You know about the tree as well.
The tree.
The captain has had disagreements with your Inquisition, and
What kind of disagreements?
Man, your accent changes all the time.
I've given up on being consistent.
One day he's British, the next day I don't know.
yes. One moment he's Sean Connery, the next moment he's one of the bruisers from Dishonored.
Yeah.
He says, Devin says, he knows the state of magic now, and though you seem to have a decent enough reason to suppress it, it's too cruel. We've abandoned our purpose, and this one destruction of ancient sites is nothing but evil. But of course, the Inquisition, and he kind of glances at you and he says that, Soren, are too blind to see and willing to condemn the rest of us for it.
So, should we let him go? Like, I feel like he's no threat to us whatsoever.
If it's the captain you're seeking, then I can't keep you from tracking him, but just know that you won't get to that tree without crossing him.
We intend to cross with him and get to the bottom of this.
Will you be
So
able
is that a no or is that a yes?
or leave him go? Are you? Will you be fine by yourself?
If I can rest and the wolves of the Inquisition don't come for me.
Hmm.
You don't intend. Are you not with the Inquisition?
Let's just say, in this matter, we're on the same side. We want to save the tree.
Wait,
Perhaps
we do?
you can help me then.
Help you do what?
Alright.
Get out of here and reunite with the captain. We're all heading to the same place.
Okay, but I'm not carrying him. And she gets back in the box.
Oh, you're so lazy. I'll pick him up. I just put him
Alright,
over my
so-
shoulder.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. He's a lot of dead weight right now, so he's just not moving. And he eventually kind of drifts off and loses consciousness.
How is he gonna lose consciousness when he's supposed to show us the way? Lazy bastard.
I know, right?
He's supposed to tell us where to go.
For shame.
So, Fang, you're now carrying this unconscious wounded man over your shoulder. And you all, as you begin to exit the camp, you can follow the trail of destruction pretty easily. Eventually, the corpses thin out, and you don't see any more, but they head north pretty much as you expected.
All right, I guess we just follow along, trying to figure out where these dudes are.
All right, someone give me a survival check.
No, I'm not
Follow
good.
the barren dead road. Follow the barren dead road.
Yeah. Follow that emerald.
I don't know where it's going. I'm just following.
It's pretty good.
No, sorry.
Who's getting healed? What's happening?
All right, so Aaron, you're able to follow the tracks pretty easily, and with the odd bit of blood here or there or matted leaves, you even after the fighting had ended, you can see where they went, and it takes time. You sort of follow things over the course of a couple of days, but eventually you make your way up, and you all can see in the distance. It's kind of difficult through all the trees, but you see one particularly shadowy part of the forest that seems to have been covered by something much larger than just the regular tree line. The trail ends pretty abruptly, and things get almost eerily silent as you begin to approach the outskirts of this large area where presumably the tree or the outside of it must be. It's almost the feeling of being watched.
Damn, it's a high-ass stealth modifier.
Or stealth and Aaron's perception, it's just nonsense.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's hiding from me now?
Yeah, so Aaron, you notice that there seemed to have been can't really make out the details of it because you're just not familiar, but you can tell that there are some odd markings around some of the trees here, and it looks not too different from some of the markings you saw with the druid's magic right after it was cast whenever you encountered them over near Red Larch. Looks like someone recently cast some spells around here.
Do 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 do.
You see sort of, I guess, residual signs of spellcasting.
Like what kind of spells? Like
Um,
mostly evocation, like fire, stuff like that.
you would have to try to get a closer look with Arcana or Detect Magic or something.
Arcana. I
Detect
said
Magic would
Arcana.
give you the school. Arcana, you would just try to have to. It doesn't seem particularly destructive. You can't narrow down any one school, but it seems like it had definitely produced a physical effect, but it wasn't very destructive, and so presumably it wasn't evocation or abjuration or anything like that.
Mm,
but it definitely wasn't divination or something subtle either. Most likely wasn't enchantment or illusion.
nerd magic. Divination. Fucking lame. Ooh, speaking of which, I get out a rock and I say, "Hey, bro, still alive," and just put it back.
To a rock. You're talking to a rock?
It's a sending stone. Don't worry about it.
You don't get a response in words, but it kind of rattles a bit. The
Yeah.
affirmation, message
Alright.
received type deal.
Okay, he heard it.
Wait a second. Do you have an elemental being that also hangs out with you random? Because that would just be way too coincidental.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, just my Warforged bodyguard and a fairy dragon, which should be around here somewhere. I don't know.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I got a pet fairy dragon.
She
Got
burst out of
separated
the
during the
box.
raid.
But
I am not a Warforged, damn it.
Are you sure?
I am
Huh.
300% sure.
I take my. Do I have a weapon?
Well, look. I'm not judging. I think
Gem
it's
on
cool.
lightning, right?
Knuckles and tap the side of her. Do I hear clanging?
I'll ask you this one, Toki, because I guess is your character's skeleton as it will be the frame. Is it
Made out of
is it
metal?
close enough to the surface of the skin that you would actually be able to hear clanking if you tapped it?
No. But
You
if
know, like-
you hit her hard enough, you can hear clanking.
Yeah, that's the
I
last
most
thing you
definitely
should
hit her
have said.
hard enough, and we heard clanking.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, you
Back at
can.
each
You
other
heard
again.
it. The
I'm not
first
saying I'm
time
hitting her
Aaron-
now. I'm just saying when I hit her, oh, there was definitely clanking.
Yeah, you definitely did in the last fight.
That's true.
But if you just tap her, you don't hear anything.
Like we to be fair, we did like they did beat the shit out of you.
I have no recollection of this.
Wipe the memory. It's
I
400
messed up.
IQ right there.
You just got C3PO'd.
That's perfect. It's like resetting your KD ratio on one of the old Call of Duty games. You press C.
All right, so should we have a plan of attack or just storm the castle?
I have a plan. Attack.
I was going to say
Actually,
that too.
Damn it.
I like
There's-
that plan.
I mean,
Before that, there's something else I forgot to address with Asher's Arcana check. Can't recall. You mentioned general studies, right? For your character, kind of because it was passed
not
down
this
from
character,
other-
but the other one.
right, and you kind of learned a little bit about cantrips and stuff from your character's brothers, correct?
Yeah,
Um,
mostly the good ones.
I guess this would be better for me to just check your sheet myself. Okay, I don't think you do.
Well, I mean,
was
to
gonna
be fair, like
say-
I can swap out spells at every level up.
Right. I was gonna ask how well versed this would go for any one of you magically inclined characters for the party. Is how well versed you are in. Guess let me make sure here I have this right.
I cast fist.
This is true. Asking how
I
well
cast
versed you all
metal
would
thing.
be in conjuration magic.
Conjuration and what else?
Conjuration magic. If you're any of your magically inclined characters in the party, how well versed you might be in that particular school of magic.
I don't know. I'm a bard. I have no idea if I'm doing that or not.
As a player, what's conjuration again?
Conjuration is usually obviously summoning, teleporting.
Does Eldritch
wait.
Blast count?
Does
quite.
summoning cannons count?
The summoning fire.
Someone's
No.
checking up on me.
You know-
Yes, I am getting off in the fire.
I swear I'm not jacking off. Are we heading out?
Oh,
All right.
oh, Trey, not in the truck.
We're packing up. I'll have to stop a little bit, but I'd probably know about conjuration magic because I summon magic turrets.
All right, so so then I guess Asher's last contribution before he goes AFK
All
for a
right,
while.
I shall return.
All right, good luck, buddy. As he goes to explain to his superiors
What the fuck's going on?
conjuration magic is, yeah. He suggests that this
Son,
is
I'm gonna conjure
possibly
my foot in your ass if you don't get it.
yeah. He mentions that it's possible some of these signs are some form of conjuration magic. It looks pretty similar to the marks that could be left behind when he summons things, his turret and etc. from time to time.
So
You're gonna be conjuring yourself a new job if you don't quit jerking in the goddamn fire.
So can I go on a limb here and possibly suggest that the summoning was more knights, like how they vamped in that cave that one time?
Give me an intelligence check to see how well I guess you recall.
I
Now
do
you
that
think
as
about
well.
some of your marks from the lightning.
Can I do that as well?
Wait, did someone say
How
they were
long
helping
has
me?
it been?
Go for it.
Oh, I have the same intelligence modifier. Not helpful.
And what were you asking, Aaron?
How long has it been since they've been looking at this camp or whatever they're doing?
It's only been a few minutes.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh
Well,
wait.
I was gonna ritual
Well,
cast
it was
identify.
It's been a couple of days since you went to the camp. It's been a few minutes since you all
Oh.
arrived at this area with the marks.
Well, in that case, I would have during that time I would have ritual cast identify on the mask.
Oh, okay. Can you post identify and so I'll know exactly what
It's identify, Kenji, identify.
it gives you specific things that you'll know. It doesn't give you the whole sheet. So
Motherfucking identify.
it's a mask of identify.
It's the mask of not being identified.
Okay, it does require attunement.
At this point, I'm pretty sure I'm attuned to it.
Yep. And I mean, I already kind of gave you some of the details of this in the messages, but it essentially the way you activate those, the way you access those, I guess, circumstances that I laid out to you, is that it allows you to cast the spell Demiplane on a limited basis.
Gotcha. Don't know what that. If only I knew what that spell did.
I'll give you a hint. It creates a small Demiplane.
You don't say. All right, that's all I need. Let these idiots, strategize and whatnot. If not, I'm just gonna go in and smack things.
But yes, Soren. Sorry if you didn't hear the answer. You can also try and roll intelligence to recall, or Arcana, I suppose, would be applicable if you have any proficiency in that.
That I do.
Okay, so Fang, you do recall that actually, some of the marks seem pretty similar. Whenever the lightning struck in some of the nights, and Soren, at first you get the same impression, but there are a few differences. One of the main ones being that whenever the knights are summoned, it's much more destructive, whereas this is pretty subtle. It doesn't really go against the grain so much as looks like it kind of flows with the way nature is growing around the area. It looks, I guess, as if rather than something being forcibly pulled into the plane. It looks more as if something's been pushed out.
So it's safe to assume that they came.
Yeah, it's your I guess professional deduction is that it's very possible someone staged some sort of teleportation here and sent themselves elsewhere.
Oh, they bug it off.
Yeah, and as far as Aaron could tell, tracking, this was pretty directly following the trail that the supposed traders went off to.
Well, Davin, what do you have to say for yourself? Where are they now? Where are they going?
I think
He
he's
kinda
still
looks-
unconscious.
He's conscious now. It's been a couple of days,
I'll
but he
splash
looks.
water in his face if he's not fucking.
Yeah,
awake.
you wake him up a little bit more, and he, after shaking that off, he seems pretty skeptical about answering, and kind of looks around at you all. He focuses on you, Soren, and says, "It doesn't quite matter. It's likely not accessible anyway."
Why is that? Toki, your TV is really loud.
Yeah, you might want to turn it down a bit. But Davin kind of glances off to the side and says, "Yeah, that's what he says. But he says there are alternate pathways, safer ways than to simply traverse the forest, but only the captain could ever do it. It seems like we've just missed him."
Fuck. What's the destination? He's going straight to the tree.
Not quite. There's an in-between.
Well, we have to go on foot, so lead the way.
Oh, no, I mean, there's an in-between from this casting to the tree. He's likely headed through the summer court. Feywild.
Oh, fuck. Is this man an elf?
No, but
Do they know the court, the summer elves?
he is associated with one.
Oh, wonderful. Hey, Aaron. Just come over here for a second and ask your friend about if she knew any about this.
Why would she know anything about it?
I don't know. Fae. They talk to each other. I don't know. They don't like
Why would she talk to a summer court fae?
I don't know.
You got to politic from time to time.
Yeah.
I'll ask her. Mabe, do you know anything about the purple paladins? One-eyed warhorn flying purple paladin eaters going through the summer courts?
Particularly, I don't think they would be very well received.
She says she doesn't think they'd be they've been very well received. But
people, please pay attention.
Well,
Peter
do you want
Peter Peppers.
I don't really want to go back into the Fae. I don't know how you guys feel, Feywild, but we can walk to the tree.
And how far is the tree?
From as far as you can tell, it'll be several more hours, assuming that you're able to get a pretty much straight shot.
Yeah, we'll do like double the pace or whatever. We'll just like hustle.
All right, are you trying to be stealthy at all, or are you just...
At this point, I think there's no point in being stealthy if they're in the Feywild, so fuck it.
Stealthy.
Okay, so you begin to hurry your way through the forest, and
All right, so one of us is very stealthy. The
Yeah.
rest of us are not.
you begin to hurry your way through the forest. But as you continue on,
Poop.
the darkness kind of grows from the overhanging large tree, and it's and from this distance, it almost looks as large as the mountain that you left a few days back. More worrisome, though, is the fact that the wildlife in the area seems to, despite all reports pointing to the idea they would increase, they seem to have dwindled the closer you've gotten to the tree. And those of you, especially Aaron, those of you who are more versed in nature and dealing with beasts, tell this is pretty common in response to heavy human contact. Most of the animals have fled, and those of you, Lawrence and Soren specifically, I think are the only ones. Those who were present at the siege of Neverwinter, you might recall that Tyan and the elves that were brought in to help set up a particular ritual that summoned roots. And you come across what looks like similar preparations.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You see a similar sort of ritual that's been set up, or at least one section of it. It seems to be the handiwork of the elves, and it's pointed toward the tree. In fact,
Well, I'll explain to them what happened last time when the elves were trying to summon these roots to bash down the walls. That they're fucking real deal, and they can shit up.
Yeah, and if you all, as you all continue on your path, assuming you do, you find another of these, and it seems like they've been arrayed around the tree in a sort of circular fashion, or at least semicircular.
So they look like glyphs or something? Are there...
Sort of. They almost are similar to totems.
All right, so we should avoid touching those.
Yeah, they kind of resonate with this greenish energy. Eventually, you all find your way toward the center of the great tree. But before you reach the core of the great tree itself, you see it is a large tree, but there's another smaller tree in front of it. And those of you most perceptive can make out that it seems like some symbols have been carved into the base of this tree. And even those of you not so perceptive might see the kind of similar to what Fang is wearing, the fur-clad warriors begin to make their way out of the bushes and trees and spot some of you all. They begin kind of taking up defensive positions and wandering toward you.
So, I mean, I guess we introduce ourselves and say we're looking for Tyler.
Are you back now?
Yep.
Alrighty. So yeah, these
Or
basically,
Gwyneth. Or Gwyneth.
yeah, they basically, you don't see any familiar faces, but what seemed like essentially barbarians are just closing in on you all. Not necessarily hostile, but definitely wary, weapons presented.
Hmm.
Alright, I swear that's the last time I'm gonna do that.
I don't believe you.
I mean, unless this game goes until 5 o'clock in the morning for me, which is like another 6 hours? 7?
So, Soren, Lawrence, don't you know someone?
Anything big happen? Are we in initiative?
Not quite, no.
No, we're just meeting the elves now.
Yeah,
The-
you all
the heart
found
of the
some signs of some rituals being set up, and now you've made it to a smaller tree outside of the great tree, and it seems like there's some barbarians coming toward you all, kind of demanding to know who you are. None of them speak yet.
Hi! I'm Asher. What's your name?
I am Golthok, warrior of the
name.
Tree Ghost tribe. What business have you?
Take it away, everybody else. I have no idea what I'm doing here.
It's just
Excuse me, sir, we were invited.
Gothak. Don't know of that name.
we don't invite orcs.
He doesn't like you, big man.
Yeah, well, you invited these two, and I'm with them, and I point to Lawrence and Soren, throwing them right under the bus.
He squints. He looks at them and then focuses back on you again, Fang, and he squints pretty hard. He's carrying a big axe, and he just tightens his grip on it and says, "Are you Ice Shield, orc?"
I think he needs glasses.
Wait, I missed what he said, actually.
He asked, "Are you Ice Shield?" He seems to be referring to maybe a faction. I guess you could roll history.
That's a very
you
good
would probably
question.
you would probably be the only one, I think, in the party, maybe other than Soren, because he's kind of a historian, to really be able to call upon any knowledge here.
11.
You don't really know anything. You've heard of a tribe of orcs called Ice Shield orcs, but you don't know anything about them.
No, didn't really grow up with a, and I do the air quotes, tribe, per se.
That's right, he's a domesticated orc.
Shut up, you.
He laughs at that and says, "Too right. Besides, he's not blue enough."
Yeah, because he's green.
As long as he's not a red one.
I thought all of you came in one color.
So, orcs
Most
Pokemon
orcs
now?
turn pretty red after we're done with them.
Ooh, that means they beat him up, right?
I think he means they cut them up.
Well, hey, I mean, just bludgeoning, piercing, slashing. Does the same thing, right?
No, if they were punching him, he'd be purple.
Which of you is the leader?
I shove
Again, I
Soren
point to
forward.
Soren and Lawrence.
I shove Soren
bow.
forward.
I bow. That'd be me.
I'm just
Holy shit, you're Soren?
I
I thought
am.
you were a myth.
He
Or was it Soma?
loosens the grip on the great axe. He just kind of sets. You realize now that it's a great axe, but compared to some of you all, it's almost the size of a pole arm, and he just kind of sets the end of the haft in the ground and almost holds it like a
Not Sarah.
yeah. He almost holds it like a banner, and he just takes that pose and says, "What is your name, young man?"
Who's he asking?
You, Soren.
You.
Oh, Soren. Name's Soren.
So
The brains of the outfit.
Yeah, I thought he was still talking to you, Fang.
do you belong to a tribe?
An organization.
He kind of spits and says, "Sounds like trouble."
Only
tribe of
only the organizations I run in.
We don't mean trouble for you. We're trying to protect these woods from purple knights. Have you seen them?
He gets an odd look on his face when you say purple knights. Yeah, he kind of gets this odd expression for a few moments. It's hard to tell what's going through his head at first glance, but he says, "Are you with the human king?" And he is human himself, but oddly enough, he refers to human and king as almost as if it's a different entity.
As long as it means I get to stab him in the throat.
I don't
No.
hear if you said anything, Soren. Oh, okay.
No, we're not with the.
The captain?
We're trying to find them and eliminate them as well.
Did you say you wish to eliminate the captain?
Wait, hold on. Before we commit to that answer, what was the information about this captain again? He was leading them to burn the tree, or he's part of the traitors that were protecting the tree?
He's part of the so-called traitors that were not a fan of what the Inquisition was about to do to the tree.
Okay, so Necro, you got your facts backwards.
So who the hell was the guy that we just helped? Was he also?
We didn't help anyone. We effectively took a prisoner.
He from what he implied, he was loyal to this so-called traitor of a captain, and he just got left behind after he was injured because he volunteered to be part of the rear guard to cover the retreat.
Okay, so wind that conversation back 10 seconds. Because
So
your
we-
character knows
we're-
this.
So the guy we have right now and the captain is considered the good guys.
Yes.
For now, they seem to be after the same thing you are. Yeah.
Is that to stab somebody in the face?
You can stab
Probably.
all the knights in the face if you want.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, stab, fireball,
We,
shoot him with turrets.
we were sent to protect the tree, to prevent the veils from being connected. Or
Connected.
Who sent you?
Some guys in fancy green garb.
Wasn't it Gwyneth?
It was
Oh.
Gwyneth that.
Paltrow?
Yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Boo! Boo this
No.
man.
Wrong Gwyneth. Roll it back.
Roll it back.
We were
Holy
sent by
shit.
several elementals.
Did anyone say Gwyneth, or was the only thing said the elementals? Just making sure I didn't miss anybody's thing.
I guess I say.
I'll say Gwyneth. Yeah.
Elementals. I don't know any of those.
Gwyneth, Leviathan.
Gwyneth.
Leviathan's name is Gwyneth. Holy shit.
I will take you to see her. And if she doesn't recognize you,
Yeah, you cut off our heads and shackled us to the tree, defeat blah blah blah. Let's go.
huh?
She does recognize you guys, right?
Maybe you aren't so bad after all, Orc. You get the idea. And he marches you all forward. I'm going to switch maps now. As you get close, you all can see now that at the base of this tree, it seems like it's carved a sort of sun and moon symbol. Let me swap everybody over.
No, that was one of the worst paced games.
Don't bring Pokemon into this, please. Let's start another war. But you all are here at the bottom. It leads you up to here, and you can see that it seems like right here under the tree, if you all can see where I'm pinging at, as if a sort of stone has been set flush into it.
Sorry, I was in the bathroom. Okay, we're on the map. What's
Yeah,
up?
you've been marched toward this. This right here, this stone under the symbol in front of this tree seems to have been set kind of flush into it, and you all are being kind of, I guess, roughly escorted forward. This Gothok fellow heads for the stone, and he just sort of stands there and mutters. And after a few moments, you notice that the stone seems pretty shiny, as if it's been polished. You can begin to see reflections, and then before you know it, it goes from being just a shiny stone to having returned to its previous state, and out of seemingly thin air in the literal blink of an eye, you see, I can find her token here, the familiar face of Gwyneth.
Damn, I didn't know y'all knew Gwyneth Paltrow.
She doesn't look the healthiest in the world still, but she kind of glances around and mutters something back to Golthok, and then steps forward and says, "Glad to see you've all made it. Well, most of you, anyhow. I don't see the captain.
Oh yeah, he had to take care of some this personal business.
I hear his bounty's quite high now.
Yes, it's best not to be associated with him at the moment, if we are to do what we intend to do.
And if we like
Don't
the
you
blood in our
dickheads
necks.
have bounties too?
What was that?
What?
I said, don't they have bounties too?
Yeah, but they're One Piece bounties. That means we're good.
No doubt you saw their preparatory work on the way in.
Yes. What is the plan of action to stop the Purple Knights? The Inquisition. They are coming.
Just like
She
one.
kind of glances around and says, "We met back when Tyen had first left the Circle of Swords before the other tree was destroyed, and you all went out of your way to save me last time, so I have reason to trust you, but if I'm to explain any further, then just knowledge of the subject could have rather dire consequences for your group."
I mean, we're already not in favor with the other.
Yeah, we're already on the shit list.
Yeah.
The shit list.
I'm afraid it's a bit deeper than that, but I suppose if you'll agree to it.
Oh, what are we going to be on Santa's naughty list too?
I've been on Santa's
Do you
naughty
have an
list.
off button?
What's the call?
I'm sorry, too many people spoke at once. I could not hear anything.
I said something stupid, not important.
And Gwyneth says with a rather grim look on her face, Tyen has discovered their justification. The reason they're so intent on suppressing magic.
Well, what is it?
She kind of steps back and waves a hand, and you see the reflection begin to return to the stone, and she just kind of gestures toward it, as if ushering you in.
We go in.
All right. Anyone going out of their way not to head in, or
Well, wait. I might lag behind a little. Maybe take wait, is it pronounced Darlena or Darlene?
Darlene.
Darlene, my bad.
Come on, darling.
Can I take Darlene aside for a second before we go in, like hesitating, but like.
all right. And we'll use a bit of imagination in the description here because I couldn't find a decent enough depiction of this. But if you step through, you find yourselves transported to what seems like It seems like a great lake. Firstly, you notice that there's no solid ground under you, but you seem to be able to stand on the surface of the water. And aside from Gwyneth and the party being there, you see familiar face of Tyen. I'll pull his token out for reference, especially for Dr. Handy. Kind of somewhat young, but teetering on middle-aged. Wizened druid. He looks, from the way he's dressed and things, to be pretty untamed, I guess. He definitely seems like a forest dweller. And he seems to be in deep concentration. Gwyneth kind of glances back at the party and says in a low tone, "He's concentrating on this glamour. Whenever you wish, simply approach and he'll explain the rest."
And walk and sit and listen.
And poke.
So if you go to, I guess, rouse Ian from his meditation, he slowly
He's not
stands.
meditating. He's sleeping if I have to rouse him.
There's a difference.
He slowly stands and kind of leans on his staff, and he turns. There's, I guess, a bittersweet expression on his face for a moment. His expression kind of lights up seeing old friends, but then it turns to a pretty serious expression, and he says, I'm afraid that the news isn't quite good. It's a shame that we couldn't have reunited under better circumstances."
What are the circumstances, Tyen?
You recall that I headed north to a dwarven city to protect myself and my family, but I didn't let my work end there. I've spent time communicating with the Fae in the other planes and attempting to work out the nature behind all this madness and the cause. Unfortunately, it seems I've been able to do just that. And, of course, the Fae are involved.
Yes, we realized that this man was one of them. We took him, and apparently amongst them, and he remained. He was saying that they wanted to get to the tree to protect it. I don't really believe him. That they went through the summer court to get a shortcut to get to here faster. So I don't know how their alliance is, but they are working with them.
You cut out at some parts. Do you just give him the gist of your interaction with the Winter Court? Is that what that was?
Oh no, I was saying that they were being of the summer court. We figured that. Can you hear me?
Sorry, yeah, it's just for a moment there you were cutting out. It seems better now, but
Yeah, associated summer court through Davin.
Okay, yeah. He says the trader captain, as he is called, he had some communion with the summer court himself and was able to see past the lies of the Inquisition, but he was one of those who brought the basis of this information to me, and it was from there that I found the trail, so to speak. Unfortunately, it seems to have led to none other than the heart of the Winter Court.
Oh, well, as well. Unfortunately.
Is that so?
Yes, you know that the that they're looking for. She's ran away. Have you heard of this?
I've heard whispers that a daughter of the Winter Fae had been
Yeah, no, we
exiled.
kind of ran into her.
You're breaking up.
You ran into her. Perhaps this is what I felt when you entered.
Sorry, my mic was fucked. What was the last thing you said?
Tyann asked about what you said, that you had run into her.
Yeah. How are they connected to all this?
He glances around and says, "First, if you would be honest with me, can you tell me about your experience with this Winter Fae?"
Well, Aaron actually has had the most experience, so
He's mostly involved in this.
you can ask him. He's new. You might not have met him, but he was friends with Taz. You remember him? Yeah, he's friend. That's how we know him.
I recall.
Aaron, floor is yours.
You know this Winter Fae, Aaron? He asks that. It's a question in tone. I don't know if you're here right now. But...
I think he's AFK.
Oh, okay.
It's hard to tell.
All right. Well, in the meantime, those of you that are magically inclined at all in the party feel this overwhelming pressure. It almost feels like you're drenched in magic. I guess there's this sort of aura of just magical energy that seems to be coming out of this area, especially the water below you, as if rather than magic coming off of whatever this source is, it's almost a similar feeling to standing above and waves of heat coming off of a great fire. It's that serious, that intense.
We turned on the heat in here.
Yeah, what is that I feel?
Are you asking Tyan, or are you?
Yeah, is that what type of magic is this?
He glances down and says, all of it, frankly. Take a look for yourself.
This
And
man
he
just
kind
say
of-
all of magic.
Oh shit.
He kind of takes the end of his staff and stirs the waters a bit, and you see different images, anything from small lights to large storms of fire, invisibility, mage hand party tricks to world-shaking spells. You just see images and glimpses and memories of when spells were cast.
It's the font of all magic.
And you notice that all around there seem to be new lights appear and splashes of water as if spells are being cast.
How do our elementals feel about this conversation?
There's sort of a great sense of pain, actually. They don't seem to be saying anything, as if they're restrained in a way, but mainly to focus on themselves. Even those of you that have a connection to the elementals can feel sort of residual ache and pain.
Should have brought a nice spell. Be nice.
What was that, Handy? I didn't hear it.
Oh, I said, like, should have learned a nice spell.
Yeah.
This would have been really helpful right now.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Tyan says. He kind of raises his staff and twirls it. And there's a sudden breeze of biting cold and snow that enters in and says, I've worked to maintain a more hospitable atmosphere here. In this glamour, this is merely an illusion to show you what we've seen, but this is its true state. And you see that it's not entirely frozen, but in places the water is kind of slushed over, and this, again, biting cold, it comes in, and there seems to be some sort of dark crystal chained in the center of the lake.
Would I happen to know anything about this, or does this look at all familiar? Or
Yeah, the dark crystal. Does it resemble like the crystal in that that we saw before in the like library?
Not quite. This is kind of an interesting one because it can go several ways. So I'll say that it would be choice of an Arcana, History, or Religion check. If you all wanted to try to recall anything about this, if you're proficient in one of these, you could roll one.
Proficient in what?
In either Arcana, History, or Religion, and you can roll that. If you're proficient in one of those, you can roll that particular check to try and learn something about this. Or recall
Gotcha.
information.
I will do that right here.
yeah, this is more of a history.
Arcana,
How bad?
Damn it.
history, or religion.
Take me 11.
Nope, I'm not efficient in any of those.
Yeah, so despite your extensive research, both of you, Aaron and or Asher and Soren, you're not able to make out anything. This is completely new to you.
What's that?
He kind of ushers you all forward and to follow him as he begins to walk toward the crystal. And as you approach, you can hear what sounds like would sound like splashes, as if something's dripping. And you notice that on the other side of the crystal, liquid seems to be pouring off of it. And the closer you get, you see two red orbs in the depths of the crystal.
Red orbs. Anything special about them?
Upon closer inspection, you see that below and between the pair of red orbs, you can just barely make out what seems like you had to sort of take a step back to realize this, but it almost seems like a row of teeth within this crystal. And it seems wide as a river from where you're standing. And the orbs seem to be placed strangely like eyes above this row of teeth.
What the fuck?
What am I seeing?
And as you all walk around and Tyne shows you, it seems that this crystal is thawing on one side. It's as if there's a sort of maelstrom or whirlpool that's leading a lot of this water, if you can call it water, toward this one point. Which point it seems as if it's being boiled or heated in some way and used to thaw this, whatever this creature is. And at this point, it's well over halfway free. The entire backside of it is, and you can see odd canine features. You can see memories.
Oh my god!
Magic being vaporized, and for those of you,
He's going to eat the sun.
Yeah, for those of you who might have an interest in Norse mythology, this is very reminiscent of Fenrir chained
Oh
in
my
the
god.
Black
He's going to eat the sun.
Is this supposed to be Yggdrasil?
That's the
Really? I thought
world
this was
tree.
like a really awesome show or something. Prophecy?
Jormungandr.
Not quite prophecy, but this seems to be a smaller tree that's more of importance to this tribe. There is a larger tree behind it, though, that is reminiscent of a world tree. Yeah.
And this is Fenrir, the dog that will eat the sun.
Ragnarok.
Okay, so
That's how Ragnarok starts. Is Fenrir eats the sun, and then
No, it starts
Jormungandr
when
eats
Baldur
everything.
gets killed by mistletoe.
Mistletoe.
The most bullshit way to die.
yeah, it's not really quite
Mistletoe.
difficult.
Mistletoe is actually very poisonous.
Yeah, but it's not the poison that kills him. It's just he gets stabbed by a spear made of mistletoe. Hilarious.
All right.
I'm just gonna point out, it's a spear.
The guy could get
Just
punched
because
by
it's made out
Zeus's
of
hammer.
mistletoe doesn't mean it's not still a fucking spear.
The guy could tried to get stabbed with a sword, and the sword would break. It's only because mistletoe is. I'm sorry. I'm devolving things. Sorry.
But yes, it seems like this font of magic, so to speak, is being burned up by the second, and it's all used to further the progress on the thawing of this beast.
So Tyne, do you know this is happening and are trying to stop it, or do you want it to happen? What is exactly going on?
Look closely here, and he points out where the water seems to be seeping through the cracks in the crystal and flowing toward the beast's giant maw. He says, "I've not yet been able to uncover a name for this, whatever this is, but it seems to be an ancient being, and I found the most troublesome fact about it. It reportedly feeds on magic.
Okay, I'm gonna ask the turtle and Leviathan if they know what this thing is. Because I feel like they're old enough to know.
They're not very sure, honestly, themselves.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, does Shalaya know?
She's
Shalai?
not very sure either.
Shalai.
This is mostly news, yeah. They say they've heard of this being, but don't know anything more about it.
Bitch.
Can they give us
Tyan.
any form of information that might help, or is it just so ancient that they don't even know the name?
They basically know as much as Tyan just told you.
That's scary as hell.
Do we know what kind of being it is? Celestial, fiend, aberration.
Probably closest to an aberration, but it's hard to say. Tyan goes on to explain that whatever its reason for doing this, it's lost its balance and suddenly begun to feed on the magic of the world en masse, and he thinks he's finally discovered why. He points with his staff to the chains that are binding this creature and says, "Look closely."
Look closely here.
Yes. And if you do, you see frost forming on these chains, and it sort of these black obsidian ice-like chains. And they seem very reminiscent of the same material that the fortress at the heart of the Winter Feywild, or Winter Court's base of operations was formed of.
Wait, what?
Yeah, these chains seem to be made of very similar material to the fortress in the Winter Court.
Weird.
I'll ask
Says-
maybe if she knows anything.
She seems pretty stunned, but she confirms that it seems to be of winter construction, similar to what her mother has had commissioned. And she says, "I knew Mother was working on some insane project with this. This is unfathomable."
Well, we all can't be in our right minds.
Tyan goes on to theorize that if this thing truly is under the control of winter, however it's been captured, then once it's free to devour the rest of this font of magic, I guess you could say, to that's constantly added to with every casting of magic, then it could potentially be turned and used as, well, a weapon of ultimate power, and it would be, if these chains hold true, within the hands of the Winter Court. And it's possible that somehow this knowledge was discovered by someone else before Tyann, and that would explain why there was such a sudden draconian push to suppress magic.
Oh. Well, all I'm saying is just because it has the change doesn't mean it follows the master.
But still, it would just like be a rabid cur and destroy the world.
Indeed, I can't
Most
tell which
likely.
is more frightening.
You know, if I was frozen for millennia at a time, I would probably want to destroy the first thing that came to mind. You know,
Sure.
because the dick froze me.
Makes sense, but we're not sure how it will react. But how do we prevent this from happening altogether? We can't just stop using magic. We can't prevent everyone from stopping using magic. There's got to be another way.
There's things that are powered by magic that you'll never be able to stop.
This is true, even if every caster on this plane and others were to simply cease their practice. There's too much latent magic to save us all. I'm afraid I don't have a clear answer, but I know these things. Firstly, this tree and others like it, the primordials, they are anchors that some of the few things which keep this plane rather stable enough to endure this process so far. And so we must prevent the kingdom and their, unfortunately, now tyrannical elvish conspirators from tearing them down. But also we must ensure that those in the Winter Court who might possibly have a hand in this beast's capture are dealt with, and the means of destruction are wrested from their control. Unfortunately, it seems like it's us against the world.
You pay me enough, I'll stab the world. Right, it's true.
Hey, I'm not judging you.
Well, whatever your motivation might be, there won't be a bit of pay left if this plane is eaten up.
So are you saying you're not going to pay me? I don't understand.
Well, you'll have to work that out amongst yourselves, but
It's not really a payment. I save the world, you know.
Well, I guess I can forego payment as long as I get the king's head on a platter, so.
Yes, I think we all want that. But we must. Are these knights coming here, or are they
imminently.
going to fight the Winter Court?
Imminently, the captain and his loyal will be here to assist us, but they are few. The king's men are not far, and soon, along with the elves, they'll set upon this place and seek to tear it down.
Ooh, so why don't we just hit them first?
It's unlikely that we have time.
What should we do? We are not really sure.
I say whatever we do, it involves a knife in somebody's stomach.
I think your overeager friend here may have the correct idea. We need to prepare, of course.
Set
The
up a
greatest,
defensive, hold
yes,
out. Yeah.
perimeter, set up whatever defenses we can, and ensure first and foremost that the tree remains as intact as possible.
And what would happen if I have no idea what all these people are doing. What would happen if the tree were to be damaged in any way?
Of course, forgive me. I don't know you personally. You are?
Oh, I'm Asher. I practice magic on the side actually a lot.
I see. No doubt you've been negatively affected by the regime change.
Oh yeah, I had to run away from home and everything.
Well,
But about the tree.
I'm afraid I can't give you every detail in a concise amount of time. I would need to explain, but over after this is done with, perhaps. But there are anchors to this plane.
Yes.
In the forms of primordials, whether elemental or, in this case, these great trees placed throughout the land. And systematically, they've been destroyed. The ones up north, some of them have already been cut and burned down, but if they were to be destroyed, then this plane would become heavily unstable, and it seems to be the goal of these elemental cultists that have been coming up around the Sword Coast. The idea, as far as I understand it, is that the more they can weaken the stability of this plane and the more chaos they can cause, the more of a well there is to feed off of, the more potent a source for their rituals, their magic, and ultimately the collision of planes if they so wish it. In fact, you're standing on it now, and he kind of sweeps his staff across the font of magic, so to speak, as you all called it. It says, "This is their handiwork. Notice how it stirs and churns in places. The more destruction they cause, and the more upheaval, the more volatile this becomes, and the faster the process. If this tree were to fall entirely, then I'm not sure if there would be anything left strong enough in the way of an anchor to keep this plane intact. It might simply shear along the seams."
Okay, so what if we stopped the forces, but they accidentally or purposely chipped away a couple branches? Oh no, a couple fell off. Would this plane still be relatively intact?
Branches come and go, as is the cycle of things, but if this tree were to be severely damaged, there would no doubt be lasting consequences, but
How severe is severe?
it depends on the extent of the damage to the tree. Marks here and there in places would heal with some time, but if a great deal of the tree were to be destroyed, then it might affect the flow of magic in the land entirely.
Okay. just want to make sure. Don't want this important tree being super delicate. I mean, doesn't look like it. No offense. But yeah, just making sure. For the safety of our plane.
Yes, we don't want the world to.
You ask out of curiosity, young Asher.
Yes, pure curiosity. No ulterior motives whatsoever.
Did you say no ulterior motive?
No. That's out of character. This is
Okay,
all out of
very
character.
good. I see. Well, please, I implore you to do your best in assisting us with the defense of this tree.
Can do. Hey, you know how far away are these guys? Like, when should we expect fighting and dying? Well, hopefully not that last part, but, we can decide.
The tree ghost
Fighting
tribe
and
that
rebooting.
protects this tree has already begun to skirmish. I believe a majority of the fighting will begin late tonight at the current pace and will likely last until the next dawn. And it's about sort of afternoon going into early evening for reference. So it's a matter of hours, basically.
Oh boy, sounds fantastic. So we should probably start setting up defenses and stuff.
Indeed.
Sound like a good idea?
Have you any particular suggestions?
Ooh, right here, right here. Do you have people that can use Move Earth?
We do.
Ooh, do you have people that know how to whittle?
I know how to whittle.
So you go find people, find sticks, and you make pointy sticks, and then they make holes in the ground. And then everybody makes illusion magic.
Well, we already have these great roots things. You don't know about this, but back in the old world, the elves used these awesome, crazy tree roots to just destroy mountains, and buildings. So that's pretty.
So the roots of the tree can help defend itself?
Indeed.
Is that what I'm getting?
Also, if you got really, really flexible trees, let's just go with trees. We can tie these pointy sticks to the trees and bend them around other trees. So when they're tripped, they smack into people with their pointy sticks. And then you can always put poison on them. Poison is fun.
I agree. This is why I hired you. Think on my level.
All right, so you all are suggesting that you start with some natural defenses then. If that's the case, then everyone that would like to help set that up, you can use, if you have a relevant skill such as woodcarver's tools, then you can apply that. Otherwise, it would just be a survival check.
I have poisoner kit.
Okay,
We can make a big old cauldron of poison.
Would you say the attribute would be intelligence for this?
I would say you're in choice of intelligence or wisdom. Yeah.
Wisdom is the loneliest thing. Help! I got my phone stuck in my shirt. Oh!
Well, you do an excellent job, Asher, at carving these defenses and these traps. Darlene, if you'd like to roll for your poisoner's kit, that's also acceptable to try to coach some of the things that he's carved. Lawrence, what'd you say?
I was gonna cast guidance and assist them.
Okay. So you'll have advantage and you'll have an extra D4 to your roll. I guess that would be up to whether Lawrence would have applied, but I'll tell you now, it's not gonna make that much of a difference. 29 is absurdly high. Yeah. You can roll again. You'll have advantage.
Why is it a +1?
Okay, and then you can add a D4 for guidance. So you end up with a 20. You're able to make it's some pretty good poison. And from what you can tell, it would be potent enough to put most of the people that would encounter it out of the fight, at least long enough to keep them from being threats. And assuming that you spread it out enough to cover the majority of the traps, then it would be this level of potency.
I also am gonna make a couple thieves tool rolls to make cow traps.
Okay, similar to what Darius did.
Did you basically just make another rogue, but that just wasn't Darius?
Yeah.
Darius wasn't a rogue. Darius was a fighter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Where do you think
he
you
had
get a
some-
gun from?
He had some
He
rogue
had some
levels
rogue
at some point.
abilities.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
he had.
Yeah, he did a bit of multi-classing, but this one's a pure rogue. Yeah, you can you make some pretty potent ones, pretty well crafted ones for just using thieves' tools to bend them into place. Anyway, I guess they're about as fancy as scraps of metal that have been bent can be.
Wait, I have these tools too. Could I help out?
Yeah, thieves or tinker's tools would be applicable. He's essentially just using thieves' tools in lieu of something more, I guess, more appropriate, and because all he's really intending to do here is bend sharp pieces of metal.
Can I play music to boost morale?
Sure, go ahead for roll performance.
And then the last hour I spent swindling people out of money.
Brave Sir Robin ran away. Bravely ran away.
Out of curiosity, is there a way I could find
No one knows how to play cards, unfortunately. What was that, Lawrence?
by any chance can I look for a sunburst pendant that's worth at least 100 gold?
What a random question.
Yeah, does anybody have a sunburst pendant?
Probably worth 100 gold or more.
Roughly, just thereabouts.
You're saying you're looking for a spell ingredient then?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, way out here, it's not likely that you'd be able to find that. But
Don't you have a whatchamacallit? Like a bag? What is it called? Component bag?
Component pouch or a focus.
Yeah, I what do you call it? Component packs and
Doesn't have the gold required ones, right?
Oh, right. If it has a gold amount on it, it doesn't.
yeah,
Yeah. Sorry about that.
has it been more than a week?
it certainly has.
Let's try for divine intervention.
He's going to ask his God that he doesn't believe in.
For a symbol of worship.
That he doesn't believe in.
I regret my.
Oh, so close.
You feel something in the shape of a necklace close around your neck, Lawrence, and as you reach for what you think might be a sunburst pendant, instead it's just a holy symbol of a deity of light, and inscribed on the back in the celestial script it says, "Cease your disbelief." Subtitled, "I find your lack of faith disturbing."
Do you believe in me now?
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Don't choke on your aspiration.
Yeah.
Well, there goes the Don spell that I was waiting to use.
That was so... You got so close, too.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
It's so hard to get that spell off.
Mm-hmm.
But when it goes off, boy, does it work.
Yeah, it can ruin an entire DM's plan if it goes off. It's like, I wish this battle doesn't happen. Wait, what?
I wished away an entire demon army with a wish.
Yeah.
Granted, it summoned a giant meteor that killed everything in a
I
10
wish
mile
this
radius.
entire race didn't exist.
You can't be racist against a race that doesn't exist.
Remember Wendigos? Nope.
Hey, remember? I don't remember who all was in that, but I did a one shot one time where the final boss was a Wendigo. That was
I was in that.
a good time.
Oh no, my favorite thing is which campaign was it? We were playing a campaign with a dude named Anthony, and one of the characters made a wish and completely erased the Wendigo.
That's what I was referencing, Toki. It was my kid had the power of a wish at age 9, and one of our characters got hurt, and she wished that those creatures didn't exist anymore, and it fucking worked. Broken as all get out.
Oh, that's pretty much what Wish is. Yeah.
Yep.
It was
But
one of my
anyone else-
favorite characters.
Class of monster.
Does anyone else have any particular specific suggestions for defenses or?
Fang will give these druids one of his oran berries so they can grow them.
All right.
And then he will just cook food for the camp with his great power of cuisine.
At some point, she just stops and stands there and kind of looks like she's not paying attention to anything.
Is it possible to use these summoning stones to summon our vampire back?
Oh, you still have them.
I guess you can try.
That is totally up to DM.
You can certainly try.
He just starts shooting everybody, and we have to kill him. Like, oh, Jesus.
For the fuck of it, I just throw one down.
You said you do throw one down?
Yeah.
You throw one down, and you get this mental image in your head, Lawrence. And this voice comes through. You hear Darius, and he says, "I'm taking a bath right now."
I thought vampires weren't supposed to be in the water.
Not in running water.
It's not running. You know, I pay good money for these sponge baths.
He would. He would.
Yeah, that would be drunk drinking.
Plenty of that. What'd you get yourself into this time?
Oh, actually, I just thought of something. In addition to cooking dinner, can I help prepare preserve rations and whatnot? Since we have no idea how long this siege is gonna last.
Yeah, it's you're essentially already under siege, and the skirmishes have started, and you have scores of people on your side, dozens and dozens, and there are definitely going to be more on the other side. So it's a lot of work to ration that out. So you could do that.
Thankfully, I have a book that will teach me all these fancy ways of preparing foods and magical cooking implements to help make the food last longer.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll your cooking utensil.
All right. What skill?
It'd be your choice of Dex or Wisdom, depending on whether you're dicing things up quickly or you're trying to just figure out the wisest way to.
Well, my Dex score is better than my Wisdom.
And what was that, Lawrence?
Are there any druids that could give me could conjure me up some herbs so I could start creating healing potions.
Yeah, there's plenty of druids that can give you plant growth. Most of them, in fact, around can.
25.
Yeah, you ration things out about as well as you think they can be rationed.
I call my mother.
Wrong number.
Where have you been?
In and out of consciousness.
We're about to fight. So
We're not about to fight. We're preparing for next session is what's happening.
Well, if we're about to fight,
That's what
I call my mother. Aaron calls his mother.
How do you do this? How do you?
I don't know. I'm just saying shit.
I'm saying, are you using like a landline or?
Are you trying to use your fancy blood scroll?
Look. I'm going into my little guinea plane. I'm sending signals. She knows where I am. I'm sending SOS signals.
I think you might be a better time to teach your phoenix how to fight.
It's a phoenix. It can fight. Plus, it's only like a cat size of a small
you gotta teach
cattle.
it not to burn the people you like.
It's too small to fight.
It's big enough that you can't hold it anymore.
That thing used to be the size of
The ground, and you don't get a response in words, but the ground in your consciousness begins to be coated in new layers of porcelain there, and then things begin to form.
I get up and go, I
porcelain.
don't know if that worked, but that's going to be really scary.
Yeah.
So there's probably everyone that's like, oh, I hope that didn't work.
Right.
Is there anything else we can do? Well, we can call my mom.
Yeah.
Call her number, hang up immediately. That's what.
And he said,
Look, I mean, I'll keep trying, but like I didn't get a response, and I got freaking porcelain in
it's like it seems to be in your little demi plane. Essentially, the porcelain is crafting forms of people and fighters.
Oh,
it's like a terracotta type.
Neat. Well, I guess I'll be trying to use those somehow. Get Mabel on that right suit sweet.
Yeah, she starts looking at him, says that she'll see what she can do. Lawrence, you mentioned you're trying to get plant growth and things from the druids to get herbs for potions?
Yeah.
All right. What sort of potions are you trying to make?
Healing potions.
All right. What level are you intending to?
All the levels.
Since we have a lot of people, I'll say we start with basics to mass produce them, I guess.
All right. Your choice then, I guess, of alchemist or herbalist role.
Kenji, have an infinite supply of water.
Yes, Aaron.
With the Phoenix being this young, what would happen if it were to die again?
That's a good question.
As far as everyone understands, it would just explode like it did last time and return to an egg.
Could this thing be an actual member of fighting of a being?
Yeah, let's use it as a bomb.
Let's not use this as a bomb, sir. I will punch you.
I'm using it as a bomb. I'm stealing it and I'm using it as a bomb.
You're gonna steal something the size of a cattle. Come on, good luck. That's on fire.
It's
good luck.
It's this. Oh yeah, I should have mentioned that, Soren, because you weren't here for the last time. So the party's done a lot of travel in LA, and so there have been weeks skipped at a time. The Phoenix is now the size of kind of basically a calf, a large calf.
How are we transporting this gigantic thing?
Aaron so far has been trying as hard as he can to lift it, but it's getting to the point where it's not really feasible anymore, and so
I think it's just following us now.
Yeah, now it just kind of waddles around behind him.
Wait, so it is
we have a giant chicken behind us.
Yeah, he's been applying the tips that he got from the druids over time, and it's gotten to a point now to where it at least follows.
What does Tyan think of this Phoenix that's just chilling with us?
He's skeptical, to be sure, but he doesn't see any reason to oppose it. So
yeah, he's just like, hey, where's Taz? Oh, he left. We got that guy over petting the Phoenix, and it's just like sitting there looking around at all these people. I'm like, what is that?
And all right, his hero's feast is.
I'm using that to right before, like at our dinner, so we'll have it for the fight tomorrow.
Gotcha.
And, maybe breakfast then.
And Lawrence, you again, you can choose between herbalist or alchemist kit to make your rolls.
I'm going to see if Leviathan wants to help, wants to fuck up some of the people who may have summoned it and trying to trap it.
I was gonna ask Shalaya if she's strong enough to become full form.
She doesn't know about that, but the replies are that they'll try and see what they could do in the battle, but they're relatively limited, and being this close to a source of magic it's just a sort of an almost atmospheric pressure for them. So
I thought that the magic was good for them, like they can feed off of it.
The Phoenix's magic was for Shalaya.
Yeah, it's not that it's bad for them necessarily, but it's sort of like they just need to
The wrong kind of electricity.
They need to get used to it and push their way through it. It's like a change of the atmosphere. It's something like if gravity became heavier, I guess, if that makes sense.
It would make breathing a lot more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask Maeve if she can like do anything to help me fight.
Well, I'd have to like summon her on top of the Phoenix and like have her ride it.
Can she show up like as a Skyrim Arashoka or whatever? Like tiny version?
Atronach?
Yes, yeah. That's the word.
That's basically what she looks like normally, yeah.
Alright, everyone, you get 6 temp hit points.
But yeah, you pretty much get the same responses from most of your elemental companions or whatever companions that.
I was actually going to ask Zartan if he can help the druids like move the earth more if they want to. Because I forget what they're doing, but since he's got domain over that, I figured he might be able to
he unfortunately informs you that being that he is in the plane physically and is quite far away, there's not much he can do.
I'm going to check on my terracotta army.
Though technically you have mold earth now, so
yeah,
I'm going to check on my
all those abilities stop after an hour.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check on my what's the reference? I can't remember the name of that movie. The mummy, that final mummy movie.
Emperor. Mummy.
Yeah, I'm checking on my Dragon Emperor army.
Wait, when did you get that?
Apparently, his mom sent a care package.
It's basically as far as he can tell, directly just now. Sort of there have been times in the past where in certain fights when he's finished off an enemy, usually with a crit, they've turned to porcelain, and he found out that they were sort of transported to his little meditative state, and now something similar is happening, except
Have you been stealing the souls of the enemies you've killed?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds cool.
All I know is I killed the bear, and a bear's there, and that one guy I killed, the one fisher, the one
that one bitch you blew up your hand.
Well, no, she's definitely not there. She's no. It's that guy we fought, the ghost guy we fought on the boat who got turned to porcelain. He's there, and now a lot of more people are coming. I don't know how many exactly. I don't have an exact number. It's not like she's talking to me. She just sent terracotta, little porcelain people. I have no idea whether or not I killed them.
I have no idea if this is going to be useful or not. I'm going to leave the Chanter of Endless Water to like the medic team in case they need it.
Okay, they say that it should be very helpful. I thank you for that.
Why not give that to Leviathan, see if it can boost them?
Or could you control water with it?
Like, he is the freaking thing of water.
It can't give out that much at once. It does have a limit.
He can drink it.
You can't just create a river or a lake with it. It has a cap of how much water it can make in a day, and also it doesn't come out that fast.
Well, I'm assuming it has a limit, but would we have a couple days before they attack, or?
We're currently in siege. We snuck through the blockade.
So, yeah, maybe he needs to swim in a little puddle. Help, dude. What does he need?
Every elemental has told us we can't help plot.
I mean, they said that they can probably help, but it's not. They're gonna be. You're not gonna have a goon squad of Megazord.
I will
Basically,
settle for Leviathan making it rain when they attack.
They said they'll try and
Make
work
it
on ways to help during the fight,
rain.
but
I'm gonna take the sex feelings aside and go and just like ask you if you in Primordial, if you feel like helping hurt some people, not these people, definitely not these people. If you see people attacking them, go ahead and send a little fire that way if you want to. Not pat it on the head.
I still have the Hag Stone.
it just kind of calls at you with a weird chicken look. But it
what
seems
does
to
that
have
do?
understood what you said. What does what do?
The Hagstone?
It cures diseases. I forgot I still have that.
You have the bag. Can we throw the bag?
The
People?
bag's gone. The bag we threw.
Damn it!
Almost
Why don't we
made me a
keep that?
lich.
We could just throw that into the freaking
Oh yeah,
army
you
and be done with.
missed that, Soren. The evil bag was a part of a ritual to become a lich.
Oh shit!
Fang almost became a lich.
I mean,
Yeah,
look, all I'm saying is I don't know why you guys let that happen.
No, we need to
Only being a lich
contextualize
isn't
this.
exactly a bad thing.
We need to contextualize this. It's because there was an evil hag's cauldron and the evil soul bag the hag had, and his idea for destroying it was, after Lawrence's father explained, as far as I can tell, it looks like it's part of a ritual to maybe make a traitor a deal. He thought,
No.
I know a way to
My
destroy
thought
it.
process was the cauldron's full of acid.
So I'll throw this bag in the hag's cauldron.
Full of acid.
It pissed somebody
I
off.
think I had him roll a D100, and he was. I'm pretty
I
sure,
rolled
like
stupid high.
I think he was a few points off, basically, from completing a ritual of.
And it was like, hey, do you want to make a deal? He's like, and then Soren was like, nope. I mean, not Soren. Lawrence was like,
even
nope.
got the information of the benefits of this deal. Freaking Toki's character just blew up the cauldron, and then Necro's character lit the skull on fire.
Nice.
All I'm saying is we've been over this. Just because you had to commit an act of great evil to become a lich does not mean you have to be an evil lich.
I mean
technically bypass that act of great evil right now. The deal was already there.
Technically, if you sacrifice people to make your phylactery who are evil, that's technically a great evil, but it's doing the world a service. Therefore, it's a good.
Long story short, I'm going to give the Hag Stone that cures all diseases to the medical team as well.
Why the hell would you do that?
Because I'm going to be in the middle of the fight. I'm not going to have time to stop people's diseases.
I thought I had the Heartstone.
Yeah, he does. I'm pretty sure.
Well, then give it to them. Jesus, Necro.
Yeah,
you're supposed to heal us.
Was the Heartstone and the Hagstone, or was the Heartstone?
No, they're just Heartstone.
Okay.
Now,
Wait,
I
thought I
had
that
stone.
The green hags that you fought in the Summer Feywild, they did have a stone, but it's not the same one.
Wait,
they had that
I was the one healing the ravens. I was the one, fixing the raven people.
That didn't affect curse. That affected something else. That affected disease.
It affected the disease. Yeah, I thought I had that.
Apparently,
I was pretty sure. Maybe I missed. You, I mean, it got passed around, and I thought it ended up in Lawrence's hands, but I could be mistaken. I don't know.
Yeah,
I remember specifically going over to each, telling all the crows ravens to line up, like one at a time, while he was hugging his parents or whatever he was doing. That mushy crap.
Yeah, didn't we find out that the stone didn't affect the curse, but it?
Yeah, because it's considered a curse.
My stone.
The point is,
they stole it from
the
us.
People that are going to be able to use it while we're fighting.
Okay,
he wants it back.
I heard he wants to smoke crack.
How precious.
I heard he wants to smoke crack. That's all I heard.
So how low does he have to go for Dominate Monster, a beast, to work on him?
Who? What?
Because he's devolving rapidly right there.
Oh, I see.
They stole it from us.
A few more phrases, and it'll probably take effect.
Fucking. I want to create a changeling that's essentially the face stealer Ko from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
So a centipede.
Well, he doesn't have to be a centipede, but
Why don't you
just
trade
the same
Tentacles as
idea as
Golem?
Space Stealer.
I got an insane idea.
I don't know how I chained it, but I just thought it just popped in my head. Leave me alone, Ken.
No, I'm not gonna leave you alone. I'm gonna hassle you over it. But
You
all
might.
right then. If there, I guess.
Can anyone think of anything else to help buff this defense?
Yeah, if there's anything else, name it now. Because if
Look, all
You could
all
all
Aaron
pray
can do
to
is
an
teach people
individual
to fight.
god.
In my spare time, like before the battle, I decided to carve that magical stick I found.
Look,
into something.
look.
just in the camp,
I
where the
tried.
people that guarded are, or what's your...
Or wait.
I tried. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I don't do that. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, I mean it's fine. I'm saying, I'm asking though, what part? Where are you doing this?
Mostly, pretty much out of sight.
Okay, kind of off then in a secluded part of the woods.
Pretty much. I mean, not too far away from the defenses, but
Okay, give me a stealth roll then, and then a wood carving roll.
all right. Stealth with advantage because I got the cloak of elven kind.
All right.
Nigga.
Is there any
There
way
you go.
Fuck yeah, I'm invisible. And wood carving tools at normal, I assume.
Yeah.
Wow, your skills are like crazy. Your dex is high. I think your intelligence is really high, and your charisma is really high.
Yeah, he's a skill monkey. You should see, dude. You should see.
I'm sorry.
his skill
Who was invisible,
proficiencies.
bitch? Who was invisible?
I thought I was.
Yeah, you should
Skill
see
monkey.
his skill proficiency. It's artificer for you.
Yeah, artificer gets expertise in all its skills, and I have expertise in
Wait.
these tools.
What?
Fast flowing. Yes.
Artificer gets
skills?
expertise in everything.
They get a lot. Artificer
Not
gets a lot.
not when he says skills, not like stealth and stuff, but like his
Like
tools.
tools. I mean, yeah, tools.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
tools,
wood
not
carving,
all
big
skills.
tools.
Okay.
No.
Not from.
I heard all skills, and I was just like,
No,
that's
all skills.
bullshit.
That's D&D wiki right there. That's D&D
Yeah.
wiki.
This is tools. Wood carving.
Look,
thieves'
look,
tools,
you
glass
guys-
blowing, smithing, tinker, alchemist, and
Speaking of-
not expertise with chess.
I kind of feel bad because Aaron can't really do much to help people. You can maybe teach them the basics of being a monk and or a
The
barbarian.
basics of CQC.
Exactly. But it's like, what are you doing? Like, well, I tried to get my mother here. She sent an army, so I guess she's not showing up.
This is why artificers are broken. They eventually can have 6 attunement slots.
Then again, I don't think we really want
Way up there though.
the closest thing to a war god that Aaron's people have to show up. That might be frightening.
I'm sorry, that's
Say what?
like a level.
I cannot hear a word you're saying.
Yeah, but that's a lot less broke whenever you realize that somebody like Andy's probably gonna use half of those slots on soda machines that he made. So.
That's true. That's very true.
He also can just make magic items at some point.
I feel like he stole that idea from Senile Snake.
Where?
I feel like he stole it from the Unexpectables, because I swear to God, they, as a joke, they did a one shot of My Little Pony, and Connor's character was literally a person who kept making fizzy drinks. I'm like, huh, that's
I
the
saw
worst.
that one shot.
If anything, I stole it from Dr. Stone.
He's like,
Dr. Stone, Seki Cola.
and every time he says something, he's like, you know what? To fix this, let's sip my fizzy cola. At one point, he did a whole ad where he cracked open something and poured it. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Also, I think he's going by Distortion Devil now.
That's true. You know, his name is Connor McKinley.
So you do a pretty good job, Asher, of growing this up. It needs some more work. It's not. I guess if you're trying to turn it into a wand or some other magical item, it's definitely not there yet. But you've gotten some good progress in.
Alright.
I guess Kenji didn't want us one-shotting this freaking this army. Didn't. It's like my mother's like, nah, I don't feel like fighting today, which is weird. She always feels like. What's up with that, Kenji?
I don't know what is up with that.
What's
You're
up
gonna have
with
to
that?
ask the DM.
You are the DM.
Anyway,
Did you get my message?
yeah,
PT
I
dubs?
did. I'll
Cool.
I'll have to get back to you on the I guess the details of that, the numbers and things.
Also,
Maybe
do I see what Asher's doing with my higher perception?
I mean, I guess it depends on whether you would have bothered to follow him out of the camp,
If he's leaving, I go, huh? What the hell's he doing?
and you'd see him whittling.
What a nerd! And I go back to camp.
All right, so let's. Oh, I know.
Aaron didn't call him a nerd. He just go, huh, and then walk back to camp.
And Lawrence, so you get a 27 there. So let's see. Okay, you can make Lawrence I guess the equivalent then with you mentioned that you're trying to go with weaker potions to kind of spread it out amongst the groups of people.
Yeah.
Without cutting into supplies, just going off of what the druids were able to give you, you can make the equivalent of, if you adjust for power for weaker or greater potions, the equivalent of 12 standard healing potions.
So, when the part of the army is fully formed, I don't know how. Like I said, I don't know how many she sent. I'm going to put the mask on and start transporting them from my meditation place to the room to the real world.
Okay. They're pretty much just porcelain
Sure.
statues. Just every once in a while, slowly. You can't do it very often. You'll see like one every half hour or something. You see Aaron kind of forming these porcelain statues.
Are they moving?
Nope.
What the fuck?
They seem to be coated in frost, but that doesn't thaw though.
Is he trying to summon those statues from?
I'll ask maybe what I'm doing wrong.
Nothing. If they don't move, they don't move.
Why don't they move?
The statues.
Why did she send me statues?
To make it seem like we have more people than they do.
In my meditation, I'll look at one of them and go, fucking move.
Fucking move, you fucking cunts.
It swings at you, Aaron.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Oh, we fight?
I'm. Wait, what just happened? I blacked out.
Is it still swinging?
Nope.
Again?
Nothing.
Fuck.
Just one
I look
swing, and then it goes back to its statue state.
Hey, Frank, you come here a second?
Yeah, what's going on?
Attack the statue.
Don't we want these to work tomorrow?
Shh. Attack the statue. I need to see something.
I punched the statue in the face.
The porcelain head shatters.
God dang it, fight back.
And yeah, nothing seems to happen.
I think they're broken.
Do you turn your back, Fang?
Sure, for the sake of comment.
Oh, snap. Oh, no.
It's still broken.
For the sake
of you can hear what sounds like ceramic or something like that scraping.
They're weeping angels. You fucking bastard.
Yeah. And then if you turn to look again, it looks as if it was rearing back to punch you.
That's so useless in a freaking giant fight. Everyone's gonna be looking at them.
in a giant fight in the
I
middle
mean,
of
I've
the
been looking.
forest.
To be fair, I don't know if it's targeting someone because I've been looking at it this entire time. It's when you turned your back that it started trying to attack you.
They're in a
And
good.
everyone gets tunnel vision anyway in fights, so it's whatever.
It's a good alarm system though. If we put them far enough out, we hear them coming, and you just hear all this clanking, all shattering close, and you're like, oh, they're here.
Yeah, screw it. I'm just gonna start moving them to the front line, just like moving them towards the front gate. So when they bust through, they're like, "Why are there these porcelain people here?"
All right,
Just
yeah,
pick
you
it up,
put your
just
porcelain lookouts. Just run them over
pat
that
them on the
cane,
shoulder.
I'll just dust them off.
Honestly, when they're at the bottom, it's like Lego.
Yeah,
It can be really annoying. Difficult terrain for sure.
Yeah. So I
Does the
assume they're
head
all
come
in
back,
different.
or
they're all in like different poses.
oh.
Different, a lot of them are in
So-
poses of different martial arts from your homeland, Aaron.
Oh,
A lot
cool.
of forms and styles.
Oh, these are probably the people I killed. Interesting. Just keep picking them up, setting them down. All right.
Wait, sorry about that, buddy.
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Wait,
So-
how many terracotta people do we have?
I don't know yet.
You don't have that many right now,
Roll
Aaron.
a
As far as
D10.
ones, yeah, as far as ones that you have right now, you've only been able to move maybe between half a dozen and a dozen so far.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
I just imagine like army, like the little armies men.
Yeah, green army man, Sarge's
Exactly.
heroes. All right, yeah, you begin to set that up, and I guess unless there's anything else that you would like to do defense wise, or have your character do over the, the I guess following few hours, then we can call
I
it.
think
So I
Aaron's
don't
just
die of
gonna.
this Ebola.
I think Aaron's just
and-
gonna do the same thing because he doesn't really have anything else he can do to help.
Oh,
Like I said, other than CQC training.
hey, Aaron, I happen to notice your mechanical arm. How's it feel? Are you able to move your arm around just fine, or I'm
So
curious.
so Aaron, Mabe has been able to help you some with this, but you get the feeling that, I mean, it does its job as a punching device, but you get the feeling that you honestly have gained more control from Mabe helping than the actual mechanics of the arm itself. It's mostly
Gotcha.
just punching
It could be
device.
so much better. It literally just hits things. That's about it.
Well,
That's all you
What
asked
you
for it
need
to
is a
do.
shotgun.
well,
Oh, not true.
If we live, maybe I can tweak it and have you some like more fine motor functions. Make it like more of a normal arm instead of
Yeah,
just
right
a-
now I'm
This
like the
man with
I'm the
shotgun
IG
gauntlets.
unit from the Mandalorian with this
Yeah.
freaking left arm.
Yeah, like I'll
Grab
fix
the
it
cup,
up for you.
grabs the cup, it shatters completely.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, to be fair, he has a point. He did say that's all you asked for it to do. That's all Aaron
Dude, I
needs is
didn't-
punch an arm.
True,
Like-
but I wanted to do so much more.
Oh.
I think I said I was like I want this arm to do the same thing that glove did, except without destroying my arm.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll
I
see
wanted
what I
to
can
plus
do after
ultra
this
all
battle.
over the place.
Yeah,
I might be
I
able to
congratulations.
can't
do
wait for that next episode, by the way.
Oh yeah, season 2.
I haven't been up to date yet.
One for all, full calling.
Currently,
Oh,
he's
yeah,
missing
for
his
that.
arm, by the way.
Infinity.
All right, so
Also, what is Mabe doing to them that they're coming out with a little bit of frost on them?
Giving them a nice little blowjob.
not quite, but if you go to look, Aaron, you actually see that she's trying to apply similar principles that she does with helping you control your arm a bit. She's
Am I
trying
taking
to
them too
exert.
soon or something?
No. But she's trying
Actually-
to allow them to exert a bit more control, I guess.
Actually, could I use my Tinker tools to do something now, just before the fight?
You could try, assuming Aaron will let you, obviously.
Yeah, I'll bring the arm back from the dimensional room.
You just walk around with your arm just not attached to you. You leave it in a dimensional
Look,
room.
I was trying to do something. Leave me alone.
Hey, it's cool. It's cool. Not my best work.
Yeah, definitely. You'd have to, especially with the stress of this oncoming situation, it's not your best work, like you said, and you think that if you take the time with a better setup, you could do a lot more. But
Back to the
you kinda,
shadow realm it
you,
goes.
yeah, you make a few adjustments here, some calibrations there, and Aaron, you didn't really notice it much before, but it feels less tense now. It feels less like an iron grip on your arm, and feels a bit more natural.
Reach for the balls. Release the balls.
Nothing can drop buttons.
I was making the Inspector Gadget joke where you had him reach over, and all of a sudden, oh, release them.
Yes, welcome to Inspector Gadget. But yeah, guess that's pretty much it then.
That's all I got.
Yeah, there.
Ooh, I
If
got
you
one
guys,
last thing. One last
all right,
thing.
go ahead.
When everyone's sleeping, I want to go into like near the well and just look at that crystal thing and gauge whether it has anything to do with my powers. Like if I can, or because it can sense every magic, right? So
Right.
Why when I'm sleeping? That's weird.
I'm gonna summon like my.
You
You
do
have to-
realize two of us don't actually sleep, right?
Yeah, I'm in a
Whatever.
trance.
And both of our passes are above 20, so
I don't
you
really
might
care.
as well just walk over there in bright daylight, big dog.
Yeah, banging pots. I'm
I don't
going
think
to do
he's
something.
probably not worried so much about you all as the tree.
Yeah, it's more
tribe.
about everyone else who's busy doing shit. I just want to summon the sword and like kind of.
Do you have the crystal with you?
Yeah, I
With
always
power?
have it with me.
Ooh, I
You
wanted.
notice that
Oh.
both the kind of latent energy in the crystal and also the magic surrounding your sword, as if
What the
it's being sapped toward the chained up crystal in the center of the font, as if it's trying to pull it in.
I want to do two more things before before tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
After I've gotten as many of them as placed as I can, I'm going to take my calligrapher set. There we go. Calligrapher set, and I'm going to take the brush and start writing different words in Zetsuian on the porcelain statues, like
Trying to
just
make
kind
sure
of like
you don't forget which one's which.
not even that. It's just more of a kind of grouped in them like attack squad A, attack squad, so they have
Okay.
some.
So you have some degree of organization.
Yeah.
All right.
This one's 1. This one's 2.
And then I'm going to dump key into the stupid book.
Okay.
I'll make a few
the book
ninja eggs while I'm thinking about
I
it.
guess the equivalent to the book now would be these crystals you've gathered, but
Oh, I guess I'll pour key into those.
yeah, that
Definitely get them to shatter.
all right, I'll report if anything happens there. But yeah, Soren, as you pull out the crystal and you summon your sword, it seems like this chained up beast is trying to set both of them in the same way.
Can I send a message to the beast?
You can certainly try.
Well, I'll try to say what are you and what is your purpose?
What are you and what are you purpose? Take me to your leader.
You get a response, but it's in the form of a sudden exhaustion that falls over you and a sharp pain in your head.
Oh shit.
It ate your mental
And
state.
it seems as if it tried to kind of use the message as an end to sap the magic from you.
Oh, so it's just trying to consume any.
Yeah, but it does seem particularly drawn toward your the crystal and the sword in ways that, in similar ways.
Okay. I forget. Is the creature made of crystals, or is the crystals like covering?
It's entrapped in a crystal. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Ooh, I'm gonna send something to you, Kenji.
And we said that the Winter Court made that?
As far as Tyen can tell, it looks like those are Winter Court chains that are holding it. So they've some. It's possible that they have somehow. Because
Interesting.
technically this isn't where it's held. This is like a, I guess, an illusory world that he's created to
Right,
demonstrate.
right,
It's
right.
like a surveillance thing. But as far as he can tell, it looks like the Winter Court may have somehow captured this thing and is now holding this for whatever the
Okay,
purpose.
well, that gives me a little more insight to who my patron might be.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? All right, cool.
Yep.
I'm good now.
All right, I guess if there's anything else you all think of, we'll be able to have a quick recap at the beginning of the next session just to take care of that. Make sure your defenses are all shored up and you get your stuff that you'd like to do done before the battle begins.
There's one thing I've been trying to say, but
Uh-huh.
is there any way to produce a large amount of oil or flammable material?
I guess it depends. Are you saying specifically liquid, or are you saying because the druids would have several ways to produce lots of kindling and things, but oil would
think he
depend
wants
on what you can.
gasoline.
Yeah,
Do we
oil
really
would.
light fires around the tree that we're trying to protect?
We don't need no water. Let the motherfucker
I mean,
burn.
Oil would depend largely on you, Lawrence, as far as how well you could convert whatever the druids could help you grow into those sorts of things.
Because I was thinking of having people throw caskets or like in the distance and just light them on fire. Control where they're coming from, that sort of thing.
Try to direct them to coming towards certain entrances. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
It would really depend on an alchemy check. I think the druids could provide you with some of the base materials. The barbarians and druids, they're a combination of plants and animal goods, but in order to make things that are flammable and in forms that could be easily thrown and used, that would just be an alchemy check. All right. You can't make a stellar amount, but
Can I
enough
help and see his advantage?
Sure.
No. Yay! I'm helping. Roll again.
You roll.
Why would I roll? I'm stupid at this stuff. You roll again.
Yeah, Aaron is mainly just helping you actually gather the stuff so you can spend more time actually working on it. Yeah, okay, you can make a decent amount. You're not going to be burning the whole forest now, which hopefully you wouldn't do anyway. But you think you could do a decent amount of controlled burning, or have other people do a decent amount of controlled burning with the materials you have made.
Yeah. I'm gonna my last thing is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna paint them a certain way that I sent you.
Okay, yeah, I'll look at that. Okay, in that case, I think I'll call it now.
All right.
He's gonna call it a day.
Yeah. So.
All right, dudes. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, I don't know, but
Yeah.
today was a bad day. I was just unconscious. Like I was in and out. Like, well, it was supposed to talk, and apparently we're fighting. That's all Aaron really cares about.
Can't wait.
See you guys.
Hopefully, a couple of us that are sick feel better by next time. See you.
Yeah.
Eh.